Thank you so much for coming. If you guys can just have a seat, I'm gonna try to get people seated before we start. So it is the prize raffle time. So first of all, I wanna thank everybody who attended. Thank you for coming, checking out our resources that we have for our community, and just supporting people who are using. So we're gonna start with the prize raffles. This was put on by the Substance Misuse Task Force of Rock County. I want to thank everybody who participated in planning this. This is our 9th year. So next we're going to have Berenice.
Alrighty, hi everyone. I'm Berenice Sandoval with the Rock County Sheriff's Office. I'm the treatment coordinator over there. So what I do is I focus a lot on the programming and treatment that goes on at the jail. So I want to start off first by thanking our recappers. So they're here in their tan uniforms. They've helped set up this entire event. And they love the applause, so feel free to come and thank them after the event as well. So I just wanted to speak a little bit on RECAP. So RECAP is a 5-month program that we have in-house at the Rock County Jail. And so individuals are either sentenced or they're sent there as an ATR by probation, or they can volunteer for the program as well. And having this RECAP program is very unique. It's actually one of the very few in the entire country. And so we offer AODA services, educational services. We actually have one of our Black Hawk teachers here as well. So it's very exciting. We have a lot of newness coming to the jail. I'm sure for those of you who have driven by the Rock County Sheriff's Office recently have seen a lot of the new construction. We have recently opened that, and we're hoping to do a lot more programming and offer a lot more services at the Sheriff's Office. We're moving in a new direction, and we're really excited for all the new things that are going to be coming to the Sheriff's Office. With all of that being said, we have a former recapper who graduated recently, and so very excited to have him share his story today. Not only his story, but also how incarceration, oftentimes, it's seen as, it's a time out, but it's also an opportunity for someone to maybe change their lives. It's a time that sometimes people need to get off the street. So I'm excited to introduce to you all Matthew Kinder, who will be sharing his story today.
Hey everybody, thank you for coming. Man, sober's where it's at, guys. I'll tell you what, been sober 17 months, and I do. Definitely changed my life. Back in 2017, my 15-year-old brother committed suicide. And really shook me pretty bad. Started going this real deep, dark depression, just not really caring about family. And I have my wife and my 2 kids here, and took a lot of the blame for that. Felt like it was my fault, and just tore me up really bad. And then I found cocaine, and that seemed to just take everything and just compress it down, and I didn't care about nothing else. That was my cure. And so for 4 years of that, I can just imagine there's probably people in this room that have been through the same shit that we've all been through. And whether mine's as bad as yours, we still hit rock bottom somewhere. Can't tell you how many times I thought about taking my own life because I didn't really know what to do. Then one day, I kind of got caught up in my shit and tried to lie my way out of it multiple times. I finally came clean to my probation officer. I've been on probation since I was 17. I'm 35. And I stole some stuff from my boss, pawned it, and about an hour later he showed up at my house asking for all the work equipment and truck and everything back. And at that moment I pretty much knew that I had nothing, nowhere to go except my house. That's it. And I was barely allowed to stay there. I called my probation officer because I found out there was a warrant out for my arrest, and basically just came clean to her, told her everything that I've been doing, lying on UAs and pretending to be somebody that I'm not. And I just asked her for a little bit of forgiveness. And I turned myself in May 18th of 2023. Boy, that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. Because getting caught for my crimes before and going to prison, in and out of there 3 different times and spending 5 years, boy, that was easy. Well, here's a new crime, you're going to prison. But getting ripped out of their arms, that hits hard. It hits different. So I tried to play the system a little bit and pretend like I wanted to do this recap program because I needed the help. And I just wanted to not go to prison for 7.5 years. For about a month, my first month in, I talked a lot about drugs, talked a lot about, different ways to make money selling drugs, thinking about different ways to get out and be better at hiding it. And then I got recap. About a month into the program, I realized I'm a piece of shit. And I need this program, because if I don't take this program seriously, I'll probably die within a month of being home. So for the next 5 months, I took that program seriously, and I can thank them guys. Recap, man. A lot of good people in recap, a lot of good love, support. If you act on it, they'll definitely treat you like you're human again. Never one time in recap did I feel left out or different. I might have got a little bit of picked on because I was trying to straighten my life out and take shit seriously. And some people didn't like that. They thought that I was better than people, but I tell you right now, I don't think I'm better than any one of you people in here. We've all been through it. So for them 5 months, it was hard, man. Being away from them, I'll never go back. I'll never fall. So like I said, I've been sober 17 months, and I don't know if I ever have been this healthy in my life, right? I got God in my life now. Me and him are still working on things, I don't always agree with paths that he sends me down, but I try to take it in as best as I can and try to understand it a little bit more. When I was in recap, I had this urge to help people, and I was still trying to help myself. But while I was in there, for some reason, man, people kept coming to me and wanting to talk and just wanted me to hear their story and help them, give them some advice. And I'm over here thinking like, man, I'm just as screwed up as you. Why do you want my help? But I had a super positive attitude. I didn't care. People woke me up at 3 a.m. sometimes just to talk, and we'd talk till breakfast. Like, it didn't bother me. I just wanted to be there for a shoulder, an ear to listen, something, because they needed to talk. They needed to get it off their chest. So that went on for at least 3 months of the time that I was there, and I started noticing I was changing, and I became more empathetic towards people, and I was seeing people want to do better because they see me doing better, and that made me want to develop something that I can do when I come home. So I came up with a nonprofit organization. It's called Motive, MOTYVE. It's mentoring our troubled youth in various environments. And I felt like if we can capture them kids back at a younger age, they have a better chance at life. Some of us grew up white collar people, blue collar, and the low end, and we've all been through it. It's just different things. It's not all the same. I don't know where I'm gonna live tonight, but parents treat kids differently when they're rich than when they're poor, but we still get treated, not to God's standard for sure. And so that became one of my main focuses, was how am I going to tell somebody that because they grew up for 10 years in the environment that they grew up in, that they don't have to be a product of that environment, that we can get you out of that, and I will show you how. And I just wanted to kind of run with that and see what I can do. So I got out November 15th of last year, and I didn't stop. I kept going. I was meeting all types of great people, exchanging phone numbers, going to meetings, meeting people that I got to meet the governor. Like, I never thought I shook his hand, sat by him at a couple meetings. Like, it was pretty intense at first. And then when things started taking off pretty fast, I started losing focus of my family because I was putting all my efforts into Motive, when really I still haven't fixed my marriage and my relationship with my kids. We were fighting. We just weren't getting along. I didn't want to come home sometimes, and she probably didn't either. So that kind of made me think. That went on for about 4 months. Then I started slowing down a little bit and transitioning to, like, how am I gonna work on this? Because this is broken before anything. How do I gain that back? About 5 months ago, her and I decided that we were gonna start marriage counseling. I don't know if it was good, but we learned some things about each other and just our reactions and tone of voice, how that triggers me for sure. So we started doing all this stuff, and then we were doing singles counseling, and now we're going to marriage groups. I'm involved in my church, Roxbury, shout out to Roxbury Church. We stay connected. I tell her everything. I don't lie to her. I try not to, if I forget something, I forget, but I try not to hide things, because I did that during my addiction, and if I do that now, it brings her right back to them 4 years of just being deceitful. So her and I have been on really great terms. I still have my struggles, because we all do, no matter what. If you're 20 years sober, man, you're gonna have struggles. But AA meetings, I try to attend some. It really helps, and I go like when I really need it. I should probably go when I just want to or need to, or just say, hey, this is a day I'm going. If you don't utilize that, please do, because it does help. It will save your life one day, maybe. What I've learned since I've been home is you are not in this alone. You need connection. Somebody told me a few months back, recovery is not the opposite of addiction. It is connection. And if you don't have connection with people, with sober people and positive people in your life, get them. Because I promise you, if you're having a bad day, that phone call you make that phone call, they'll change the way you think about life in 5 minutes. And if you need that, just do it. I got 100 people that I can call. About a couple months ago, I failed at calling them people. And I was trickling down, man. I thought I got this. I don't need them people. I can do this by myself. Let me tell you something. That is not true. Not true. And I did something stupid. I went out and I almost blew my sobriety. And I was in tears and I didn't know what to do, but I was in the situation where I could have broke that shit down and said to hell with it. But I called her. And I said, help me. Just help me, because I'm giving up. And she talked me off the ledge. It took her like 5 minutes. She yelled at me, but she also told me some positive things that I probably needed to hear in them moments. I'm not perfect, but God knows I'm trying. And I fall short sometimes, but connection is the way to go about your sobriety. Since then, I have not stopped calling anybody. If I have a bad moment, man, I call whoever. I'll just look through my phone. I got so many phone numbers it's crazy. I got so many phone numbers in my phone. Every time I swipe through it, I'm like, I don't have anybody outside of this circle that I can't call, right? Everybody in my phone I can call for help because that's how I want it. It saves my life. I realized about 3 weeks ago that no matter how you look and how you present yourself to any single person you meet, I met a guy about 8 months ago, has his whole life together, owns his own business, got a house, wife, land, and they got everything. And I look at that like, that's what I want. I want that. 3 weeks ago, I got a phone call, and he says, I need your advice. And I was like, what? Why? You got yourself together. And he was like, I'm struggling. I need to quit drinking. And I'm like, I looked up to this guy. I still look up to this guy. But he's got a problem. And did I offer him my help? Yes, I talked to him for an hour, gave him some advice. I talked to his wife later that night because she called me asking what she needs to do because she looks at him like he's pathetic. And instantly I thought, that's my wife. She looked at me like I was pathetic. And I told her this is what she needed to do. Follow these steps. Go to Al-Anon. Meet people. Take him with you. Let him see how he's affecting you by what he does to you and when he drinks. This guy's been going to meetings every Thursday. Hasn't missed one. And he always tells me that he's there. I don't care who you are. You could be the president of the United States or somebody living in the slums in Philadelphia, because God knows that's bad. When you first meet somebody, you treat them with respect, because whether they're this high or this low, you were there too. And you can also be here. You treat them with respect, you have way more of a chance of saving that person's life, because that person will open up to you. You got stories, you share them. I share my story every chance I get. I don't care if it hurts somebody's feelings or they judge me, because you can't judge me, he can judge me. That's it. I quit caring about what people think about me because it made me angry, and it made me want to fight everybody and just get mad, and I'd come home and I'd get mad at that, or I was in recap and people didn't like me. I stopped caring what they thought, because my life isn't in your hands. How many people been sober for at least a year? How many people been sober? How many people been sober for 2 months? I was lucky. 2 months into my sobriety, I was locked up. I didn't have access to drugs. I had to eat that shit. I had to swallow everything. But I'm telling you right now, you guys will hit something that hurts, and your pride will get taken from you. Somebody will judge you. Somebody will look at you like you're less than them, but you're not. You are enough. And if nobody ever tells you that, I just told you that. So you remember you're enough, and you can do whatever you want to do. And staying sober is the best way to do it. Because once you do this one time, that one line of Coke or that one shot, you're going to fall harder than you've ever fell before. And you'll be right back in the slums. And you're going to hate yourself. You're going to think that life's over with. Don't feel that way either, because we can always come back. You can always get a hold of yourself. Don't let yourself fall to the point where, oh, I relapsed. It's over with. Don't do it. Call somebody. Call me. I'll pick you up somewhere. You end up anywhere, I will call you. I will come get you. Like, we'll get you some help. Don't beat yourself up, because we ain't perfect people. There's one perfect perfect person in this world, and he loves every one of us. Whether you believe him or not, there's a book that you can read. Any chapter of that book will save your life. There's people here tonight. I know Josh, peer support. Dude, get his number. Get that guy's number, because he'd probably kick your ass, right? Get it together. I want to leave you tonight with one thing: connection. Connection will save your life at any moment you fall apart. If you had a bad day at work and the worst thing that happened to you, that your dog tore up your living room carpet and you're about to lose your shit, call somebody. Because somebody told me, and I'll put him out, this guy, he's an ARM member. His name's Patrick. He told me when I called him, when that scenario happened to me, and he said, so the worst thing that happened to you today was your dog ate your carpet, but you're still sober? I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. And I was like, yeah, I guess it ain't that bad. We fixed our carpet that night and we were good, right? So connection, man. Make that connection with people. If you don't know somebody, meet that person, because that person might save your life. Person next to you, you're sitting next to, you don't know anybody in here, turn to that person, just introduce yourself, because that person might save your life. I promise you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. We do want to leave an opportunity if anyone has questions. So if anyone has a question for Matt, feel free to raise your hand. Say your question out loud. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, back here.
Have you ever, how would you personally help personal friends get out of addiction? Because I have one of my friends out of addiction. I already had to use Northgate on him about 5 times already. Since I've been friends with him, I just, if I just know how to be able to help him.
Does this person want help?
Yes. Yes, he does, but I don't know how I can personally help him. I try to get maybe get some kind of help.
So the only way that that person will get the help is if you can get him into a rehab facility, particularly inpatient, where he doesn't really have access to anything. He'll learn, he'll have all the tools. They'll give him everything he needs. Most people need an inpatient. at least gets them some type of relief and gets them back to normal. They can kind of see how that feels. Hardest part about that is when they do get released from there, they don't really have a place to go, so you might have to help them get into a sober living area. There's a really good guy to get a hold of, Don Leahy, Sunrise in Beloit. He just opened up, and first is take them to a meeting, sit with them, do the steps with them. Even if you're sober, just do the steps with them. Make them feel like you give a shit about them. As addicts, we feel like nobody cares, but one person shows that addict that you care, you could change his life. Make him feel like he's worth something.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
So personally, I struggle with alcohol. How do you personally deal with people not taking it seriously for your sobriety?
For my sobriety?
Sobriety in general, I guess how would you respond to that? What is a nice way? Because it's definitely a trigger when people don't take it seriously. But the reaction is not how I want it to be. I would like it to be taken seriously. It's very important to me. I just never know how to respond when I feel like I'm being laughed at, or somebody's not taking it seriously as far as like an old partner, like my son's father. It's a struggle. So
Respond with grace. Seriously. She asked how to respond to somebody that doesn't take getting sober seriously, whether it's her sobriety or their sobriety. So, for example, I had helped a guy try to get clean, and he kept blowing me off, and then he'd come back and say, man, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go to Gifts, or I'm gonna go to the Wiz Hope on Monday. And I'm like, why don't you go today? And he's like, I got so many things to do. And I was like, okay, Monday, call me. Tell me that you're there. Monday comes, nothing. Kind of hurts my heart a little bit, but I've noticed that you have to keep that distance with people, because if they want to get clean and you're clean, that person will bring you down if you hang out too much, right? You have to keep your distance, but still show them that you got a lot of love for him, right? You love that dude, but you got to take this seriously. You got to want this, but you have to respond with some type of grace, because tone of voice can push us away faster than you can say hi, right? You have to word it. If it's text message, wording is everything. How you word something. Somebody says, I'm drunk, right? I just messed up. Okay, where are you? Are you okay? Not, what the fuck, what'd you do, right? Not that. Because soon as you show any type of anger or being upset with that person, they won't respond to you. They'll cut you off. You don't want them to cut you off. You want to know where that person's at. You want to help that person. So respond with love and grace, man, and you'll have a better outcome. And maybe sit down and try to explain to him things. Help him to understand what AA is. Go sit in Al-Anon. You've been to AA. Take him to Al-Anon and let him see how he's treating you through other people. You got to kind of get his eyes open a little bit. Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
All right. So for me, it's not so much a question. I wanted to touch base on what she said, because you know my story. I threw away 9 years of sobriety. That's why I'm in this suit. And I learned through this book that this so-so counselor that I got recommended is called In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts by Gavin Mate. And this man hits a point where the emotional drive on why addicts do what they do is because they are scared to live in their reality. So even if the person, like if you're trying to get sober and the other person is not being understanding, it's because they don't know the emotional drive that's taking this whole course. So for me, it took losing everything twice. I had my dream. God literally gave me everything I wanted as far as my career, the girl of my dreams, I had all that, and I relapsed. Because the minute the people that I relied on to understand the emotions that drove my addiction, I lost it all, and I went back to what I was comfortable with. I went back to that circle where I felt welcome, which was the circle of users. And just like Matt said, man, you never want to make an addict isolate and close down by harping on them, but you also have to make your point, because as men, we're supposed to be the rocks for our women. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. When I got my first kidney stone, I realized that women are the gangsters. You know what I'm saying? We don't hold no weight. But, you know, it's my mistake, and if I don't get restoration with my family, I have to move on. And by the grace of God, because I'm gonna have a family. That's my thing. I was given away as a kid, and family to me means the most. But I also make that statement knowing that family really meant the most. I should have stopped playing around, but it's not that easy. So.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, one more question.
I'm sorry. We don't have enough time.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I know we could turn this into a recovery meeting, right? Unfortunately, we have a schedule to follow, and I'm the one who's making that happen. My name is Brenda. I'm with Rock County Human Services. I'm the Substance Use Disorder Coordinator. Again, this is our 9th year, so thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, Matt, for speaking and just sharing your experience and sharing what other people can learn from you to be able to get into recovery themselves, support their family members or friends who are struggling. So again, thank you to the vendors, too, that came. I hope you guys all learned something new, maybe just warmed your heart a little bit about the community that we have in Janesville and in Rock County, because this event doesn't happen in other counties. And so we're really lucky that we have the community support from you guys. So thank you. So a round of applause for you guys. He literally did a round. I love it. Okay, so now we're moving into our candlelight vigil. So Josh is going to be leading this. So if you've been here before, you know the drill. If you're new, thank you for being here. And thank you for coming back if you've been here too. So you guys are going to grab candles at the back table over there. We're going to stand in a circle around here. Josh is going to read a poem. This is to honor the lives that have been lost to substance use. And so as we're standing here, Josh is going to share a poem. Yep, keep going and listen. You're good. Do your thing. So as Josh reads the poem, after that, we're going to allow you to have an opportunity to speak the name of the loved one that you've lost and that you want to honor. So, yes. So grab your candle, stand in a circle. Don't light your partner's candle as you're going through. We're going to keep them lit through the poem. So Josh, I'm going to have you come on up when you've got your candle.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. We're gathering here to remember the losses of our loved ones. I will do the poem, and then we will follow with a moment of silence, and then give everyone an opportunity to yell out the names of their loved ones that they have lost or may still be in addiction, struggling. All right. The disease of addiction, where my mind suffers affliction and the drugs are only a symptom. If I think too long, I'll blame everyone else, forgetting there's hope, playing the victim, forgetting I injected the heroin into my system. If I allow negative thoughts, they'll quietly fester in my mind, soon to be pestering, obsessing about white lines. My head will fill with static as the noise grows inside. My thoughts will become erratic, telling myself more lies. I'll break myself down until I need to hide. Picking up the mask, my addiction laughs when I choose not to fight. So now I ask, how many have to die for me to open my eyes, stop living in bondage to self, to trade in dope for everything else, family, friends, my health, and most important, to love myself. Today I have a choice to follow the negative back to hell or surrender and ask for help. I can't, but we can. I'll say it again, I can't, but we can. That's that. Okay, next. And now if you want to sit for a moment in silence, and then people can start yelling out the names of their loved ones.